Hi everyone! My name is Leah and welcome to my brand new channel. I love exploring and doing unique things in interesting places, and I think it'd be really cool if you came along with me. So hit that subscribe button and let's get into the video. So in planning for my first video, I decided to hit up the website Atlas Obscura. It catalogs cool and unique things to do based on user-generated content. I have used Atlas Obscura in the past when planning for my trip to Los Angeles last year. Even though I didn't end up using any of the suggestions on the website, I did find all of its recommendations to be really cool and unique, and I thought it would be really cool to check out what exactly it lists when talking about Toronto. And kind of high up on the list, I discovered a recommendation for these revamped Toronto Neighborhood Watch signs. Now typically these signs have as an icon red houses with an eye in them, but over years of wear and tear, the ink that was used for the red houses eventually faded away, just leaving a white canvas. Now, a Toronto-based puppeteer who goes under the pseudonym, according to the National Post, of Andrew Lamb, saw these signs and saw it as an opportunity to do something cool and unique with them. In that white space that was created after the red ink faded away, he began posting pop culture heroes from the 80s and 90s. These signs began appearing around the spring of 2014, and many people grew really excited about finding which 80s and 90s pop culture hero was protecting their particular neighborhood. I mean, why would you want red houses protecting your neighborhood when you could have the Hulk, Sailor Moon and her Sailor Soldiers, or even Buffy the Vampire Slayer? To be perfectly honest, I wish Buffy the Vampire Slayer was protecting my street, but alas, that is not the case. Anyway, I was living and working in Toronto around this time in 2014, but I never really took notice of these signs. And the Atlas Obscura article describes these signs as an art installation and that they can be found around Queen West, Kensington Market, and College Street neighborhoods. Other than that though, there was not a lot of information posted about where exactly these signs are located or where exactly you could find a certain pop culture hero. Even though I didn't see them in 2014, and even though it has been 5 years since these signs originally began popping up, I still really wanted to see them for myself. So I decided, if it's still being talked about on this Obscura listicle, maybe it's still a thing. So, with only a general direction these signs appear on the West End, I decided to start my search. I did dig through the internet, and I eventually found a Reddit post about a Final Fantasy sign located at Keele and Glen Lake. With Keele and Glen Lake as my first stop, I decided to head on out. And there it is! It's right where it said it would be. The neighborhood surrounding this sign is part of the Junction. Keele is a rather busy street, and the specific corner of Keele and Glen Lake is right across the street from a public school / community center. Now, when coming upon the sign, it was a little bit worn out, but you could still make out exactly what these characters were. The Final Fantasy depicted on the sign is of the original Final Fantasy I, released by Square in 1987, for the Nintendo Entertainment System that originally came out in 1983. This game was very beloved, and even on the Reddit thread, many people were excited to see the original Final Fantasy on one of these signs and were demanding that they need to know where this sign is in order to go look at it, which is why I was able to find the location. The Final Fantasy characters depicted on the sign are, clockwise from top, Fighter, Thief, White Mage, and of course the Black Mage. You gotta include that Black Mage. It's really cool seeing one of these signs up close and personal, and I was really excited to find another one. All right, on to the next one. I didn't really have a direction to go off of. I kind of assumed it would be really fairly easy to come across these signs, especially with the neighborhoods that were listed in the listicle. So kind of with that in mind, I just figured this will be, like, it'll be easy to find. Oof, I have no idea how this looks, but I've been walking down every street and there just doesn't seem to be anything more. The signs are either completely faded away, white, so he didn't get to it, or have the red symbols on them. And I was walking down this street and there was trees in the way.
almost didn't even think this street had one, but they seem to be on like more public streets. So like it's a public road and it faces into a street. Tends to be where the signs are. I think I might be getting too rural though. I'm by High Park. I think we need to go more downtown. I think. Yeah. Okay, we're the next neighborhood over. As you can see, completely white. Kind of looks like there used to be something there, but it's not there anymore. Another sign that it's clear there was something there, but like there's nothing there anymore. I'm really getting the impression that this was a thing 5 years ago and it's not a thing anymore. So I don't know why it's being advertised online.
Every street I came across either had a brand new neighborhood watch sign with perfect red houses on them, neighborhood watch signs that had no red houses on them, but it was just a white blank space. Or I came across neighborhood watch signs that clearly had one of these photos on them, but it's been destroyed beyond recognition. As I made my way down Queen West, I kept thinking, okay, the next street over, the next street over, the next street over. And even though I was getting cold and I was getting tired, I was just really convinced I was going to find another one of these signs, which kept me going to the next street. And before I knew it, I'd arrived at Kensington Market, completely exhausted, cold, hungry, just completely over it, ready to throw in the towel, ready to be like, shoot, there goes my video idea. When in Kensington Market, things turned around.
Oh my god, you guys, I finally found another one. I have been walking the streets of Toronto for hours looking for another flippin' sign. Finally, I found one. I am so tired, and the worst part is I don't even know what this sign is. I need food.
So I have done research since going out and looking for these signs and discovered that the photo depicted on the sign is of the movie Three Ninjas, released in 1992. Three Ninjas is about three brothers being trained in the art of ninjutsu by their Japanese grandfather. And the movie proved so popular that it spawned 3 sequels and became known as the Three Ninjas franchise. The other thing to note is that really the only one I was able to find in the Kensington Market neighborhood, which was kind of disappointing. After finding this sign, I kind of just had it. So I decided to head home, and then crazily enough, as I got off the streetcar walking home, I saw 2 more of these signs. 2 more. I had walked 3.5, 4 hours that day, completely defeated, over it, and then I came across these 2 signs.
Oh my god, nothing has been so frustrating in my life. So I was walking home when I came across this sign.
So the first sign is of the original comic book of the Avengers, featuring the Infinity Gauntlet. The sign was pretty badly sun damaged and had definitely been there for quite a while, but it was still completely recognizable what these characters were. And then just 1 street over from that sign was another one.
We walk 1 street over from where the Avengers were, and look at this. There's another one. Like, I really don't understand. It's nowhere where it said it would be.
This sign was definitely the freshest out of all of the signs I found that day. I honestly think Lamb had probably just posted it this summer. And the sign was from a scene from Trailer Park Boys of the supervisor, Jim Leahy, kind of yelling at one of the main Trailer Park Boys, Ricky LaFleur, who was very shirtless, kind of showing up his gut. I think it's meant to look a little bit off-putting. So in general, it was really cool seeing these signs, but I have to say, it's definitely not worth going out on your own and trying to find these signs for yourself. It's harder than you think, All in all, I walked all the way down Parkdale, turned left onto the Queensway, and walked all the way up Queen West, around Trinity Bellwoods, and then up to Kensington Market. And it was a journey. Now here's where things kind of took a turn for me. I think because I'd pushed myself too hard that day, and by that point was just tired and hungry, I ended up injuring myself. As I was running for the streetcar, I ended up tripping and falling into the very busy road and badly injuring my hands and my knee and my foot, which I know only look like scrapes. There's actually a really bad bruise around this hand. This has been causing me a lot of pain just because it's right on the crease. I just have to say it was just really defeating. I hadn't discovered as many signs as I wanted to, and then here I was almost really badly injuring myself. When I was coming home, I kept thinking, what am I gonna do with this video? And then I was like, maybe I need to change the focus of this video from finding these cool signs in Toronto to warning people that these signs don't exist. The thing that was really frustrating was that these signs were located on the West End, but they were not located where the obscura listicle said they would be located. 3 of those signs were nowhere near the locations listed in the obscura listicle. I think it would be different if they released a map where you could find specific signs, so then you know where you're going, because with the Final Fantasy sign, I knew exactly where it was, so it was just easy to kind of hop over there. There is no map telling you where you can find these signs. To be honest, I really think these signs are more meant for people who live in Toronto. They're just something cool that one guy decided to do that people who live here really enjoyed, but like, that's it. It's not meant to be a tourist attraction. Now, it should be noted that Atlas Obscura is based on user-generated content, which means that somebody probably living in Toronto posted about these signs on the Obscura website. I could see somebody 5 years ago posting about these neighborhood watch signs on the Toronto list, but after 5 years, they no longer exist. I'm not so sure Atlas Obscura themselves are at fault for this, but I will say that Atlas Obscura should definitely be curating these lists. So to people coming and visiting Toronto and wanting to see one of these signs, I definitely think you should be looking for them, but don't go out of your way to find them. I don't think they're as common as they were in 2014. They are still around, but they're in areas that I'm not so sure tourists will really go. However, if you really want to see one of these signs, I have put together a map of where the signs I discussed in this video can be found, just to save yourself some time. Link in the description. Anyway, that is it for my first ever YouTube video. It was exhausting and exciting and so many emotions making this video, as you could probably tell, but I'm so excited to create more content. I have a lot of cool video ideas coming up that I'm really excited to share. If you liked this video, please give it a thumbs up. If you liked me and you want to come along on the journey, please hit that subscribe button. And if you're from Toronto, comment down below and let me know if one of these signs was on your neighborhood street and what was it of. Also, if anybody knows where that Buffy the Vampire sign was located, I would love to know, and maybe give me an update. Let me know if it still exists. I don't know if you can tell, but I was really hoping to find that Buffy the Vampire sign that day, and I did not. Thank you for watching my video, and I will see you in the next one. Bye!